budgets. It's a new year, and there's no better time than to get financially organized than right now. This morning, we've got some tools to help you out. She's a financial expert and author of the new book, Smart Money, Smart Kids. We're talking about Rachel Cruze. She joins us live now from Nashville with some financial goals for the new year. Good morning, Rachel. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
First bit of advice you have, very important here, is make a written budget. That means actually sitting down, figuring it out, and writing it down, right?
That's exactly right. Yes, your budget is so key to win financially because you want to be intentional with your money. I mean, it's so easy to look up in 2 months and be like, where did my paycheck go for January and February, right? So you want to be intentional with your money. So do a budget every single month before the month begins.
Good advice there. Also, your second bit of advice, you also want to create an emergency fund. And if you're trying to save money, this might be a little bit hard to do, but what you're saying is even a little bit is good for that emergency fund.
That's right. A starter emergency fund can be $1,000. So I want you to do this quickly because this $1,000, this is kind of a pad between you and life. So when the tire goes flat, you're not swiping the credit card because it's an emergency. You have money in the bank. And then once you're completely debt free, bump up that starter emergency fund of $1,000 to 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in the bank for that rainy day.
All right, third on the list, and this is what most people don't do. In fact, 99% of us don't do, is live within your means. You don't need that jet ski when you live in Ohio and you can only use it a couple weeks of the year, do you?
Right. Yes, live on less than you make. This is so important. Listen, it's not worth going into debt for the latest it item. If you want something, save up and pay for it. If it's, $500, save $100 a month to get to your goal. Put that in your budget. Just be intentional with your money. Again, because if you don't have the money, just don't buy it. Live within your means.
And also, Rachel, you want to pay off debt as much as you can in as quick a time as possible. And that can actually be, you can make a sport out of it, kind of make it a fun thing to pay off those credit cards, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's January, so it's like Christmas is over. The credit card bills have been coming in. And so I want you to get out of debt as quickly as possible. So the best way to do this is to list out all of your debts, smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate. Pay minimum payments on everything and attack the smallest debt first. Work your way that way until you're debt free. And so I want this to be a goal for you for 2015. So when your income comes in, it's yours. You get to decide what to do with it versus sending it to payments.
Rachel, everybody has good intentions at the beginning of the year. You know this. So what happens throughout the course of the year? What's the biggest roadblock or the snag in people's plans that you see that happen to them most?
I think life happens. Kids start going back to school, sports start back up. It's just life. And so you kind of lose track of everything. And so you want your money to be a priority in your life. You don't want it to be an idol. You don't want to, be obsessed with it. But you do want to be in control. And so what that means is it needs to be top of mind. You need to make this a priority in your life. And for a lot of people, it ends up just slipping down the list.
All right, Rachel, thanks so much for that advice. If you want more information on this, just go to fox45now.com, click on Fox 45 in the morning.